Welcome to Soto Creations, where we make your imagination a reality. Today's backdrop is for a bridal show. If you've been following my channel for a while, you know I usually do a trade with one of our local bridal show companies, and I set up a balloon backdrop in exchange for a booth. Well, this time they asked if we could do their runway using our dance floor, because our dance floor has the 3x3 feet pieces, and they asked if we could add that to the trade and they would give us a bigger booth, or we kind of talked into having a bigger booth. I am not as prepared as I usually am for some of the bridal shows, but I'm calm. That's the good thing. I'm not freaking out. I'm just taking what I have, because it has been a crazy week. I hope everybody is doing well. Each and every one of you are doing well, especially with the season. People are getting sick, schools are being canceled because teachers and kids are sick, bus drivers are sick. I hope you're staying safe, wearing your masks as much as you need to, and taking those vitamins, doing all the things you need to do to boost your immune system. If you have tips, of course, leave them for me. I would always welcome tips to boost immune system for adults and kids. As you know, I have 4 kids, but I just hope everyone is doing well. Well, back to the video. I worked the last 4 nights. Got off this morning. Normally we have a chance to set up for the bridal show on Saturday. The bridal show is Sunday, tomorrow. But I had a very busy schedule today with kids. Sabi's friend had a birthday party, then they had to get their hair done. Kind of like an overlap, piled up schedule. So Richard ended up going to set up the dance floor, but we couldn't do the balloons. So I'm here at the event center to prep the balloons for the morning, because we have 3.5 hours to get the booth set up and for me to do the backdrop. So I'm going to do my best to prep everything ahead of time. Do you remember when we had that set up for Eliora's birthday party and we had 20 minutes? I'm gonna give myself 30 minutes to set up the backdrop, so that the rest of the time I can get my booth, kind of nice. It's not gonna be too elaborate. I'm just gonna pick up a few things from here and just go set it up there. That's gonna be my best, and I'm gonna just pray that things work out. I've had times where I over set up and I don't have much of a turnout. And if also you have tips for these bridal shows, or how to talk to these brides and, get more bookings for the venue, I would appreciate it. But that is the plan. Now, the backdrop I want to do, I'm kind of changing up the color scheme, because usually we do a lot of pinks. I will use pink, but I want to add brown. That's a color that's not very popular, and go with more of that boho theme for the backdrop. So let me show you what we're going to do, or let's shop for some balloons on my balloon wall. So I have a ton of balloons. I want to use some of these this week to do a few designs, and then see what I can do with the others, and then I'll just pop the rest, because it is a lot outside my office. So this is my wall. I am thinking of a brown. So I'm between this mocha brown or the cocoa. I have a lot of brown because there's a baby shower balloon. You probably remember the mochas and tans that I did before. So I might do a brown, and then I'm thinking either this pink, this is baby pink, or this pink here, which is a matte pastel pink. I'm also wanting to add this just to break things up. Let's see, if I go with the cocoa, these are the 3 colors that I'm thinking of working with. I just hope it's not too dark. My backdrop is going to be a fabric pink backdrop. So I'm going to grab that. Actually, let's go grab the fabric to see if it is, to see which pink would match the best. I piled up things that I'm taking tomorrow right here so we can load everything up at 6. We'll try to be here at 6 a.m. because we have to be there at 8 to set up, and since we don't have time, we have to hurry up. So I'm going to take my screen so I can show some of the rental items I have. Because I don't have much time to set up, I'm thinking of just taking the drapes back there and my floral arch and just put that at my booth. And of course, sorry, let me show you this real quick. I'm also thinking I might just take this setup right here. So what I have on this table, because at least this is my showroom. So I might take a sample of each of the spoons, take a couple of glassware. I don't want to set up a full table like I usually do, and then just do the samples like this and the florals. So I'll have to add the candles on the candelabra, but that's the plan. Try to make it as stress-free as possible. These are the balloons from a different event. I might post that before this video, I don't know yet. So we are back to the drapes. Just gonna get one so I can decide which color goes the best. That way when we do the balloons, they will pull in to this color and just blend real well. Because as you can see, if we use this pink, that's a true pink back there on the balloon, but this is more of a light pink. So if I use this lighter color, it actually blends so well with the cameo. So I'm in between right now. So if I'm thinking if I use the cameo, I might break it up and use the baby pink. That way there's some contrast. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the cameo, the brown or cocoa, and this one. This baby pink is actually shinier, kind of a brighter pink than the, of course, matte pastel. So that would work well to brighten everything up. And I have my chair that I'm going to add, and from home I have the rug I'm going to put down. You can see the cushion for the chair is a dark brown, and then I'll have the neon sign that says bride to be. It's in this box. So I am going to set up to start the balloons. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please click the subscribe button below. I appreciate it. And if you like the video, click the like button, share. I am going to set up here and then I'll start inflating the balloons. I just want to create probably an arch as big as the one you saw out there. If I can do that, then I'll just pop that in the car, already completely done. So when I get there, put my drapes, hang that, and I'll just deal with the flowers. Oh, let me show you the flowers. As far as the flowers, because I'm going with this boho theme, I want to use pampas grass. So I have some pampas grass here. The problem with pampas grass is the tips. They're very sharp, and I'm afraid that they're going to pop the balloon. So what will take time is trying to seal the ends so that they don't pop my balloons. So let me set this up and we'll inflate balloons. I'll talk you through it. Sorry for going on about all that. Sometimes I feel like it helps for you guys to understand what I'm doing and also my rationale for certain things that I'm doing. And when I have time, I would rather take time to explain more than not. Now we're going to work on inflating all these balloons. Because I want a bigger design, I'm inflating pairs of 11 inches and 16-inch balloons, creating those pairs. And I'm going to form, I believe, 3 clusters in each color. My clusters usually have 3 pairs of balloons, which is 6 balloons total. Now I make sure I round the balloons so when they're inflated they are an oval shape and they end up being compressed to a round shape, and then we have our pairs. Once we are done with the 11-inch and 16-inch balloons, we're going to create a few of these 5-inch balloons that we're going to use as our filler balloons to just fill in the areas where we're not going to have flowers, but also where there are gaps in the balloon garland. This comes in very handy. So you create 2 pairs and combine them to make a quad, and that is your filler balloon. Towards the end, you'll see me put in the rubber bands to get all that set up. So as you can see, we're just inflating each color, and then I'll put everything together once I'm done inflating all the 5-inch balloons. We are done with the pink. We're just going to twist our clusters together. That would be 1. Then we'll twist another 3 pairs to make 2. Then our last one to make 3. So now we have the pink all done. We're moving on to our next color, which is this brown color. I think I ended up using the cocoa, if I'm not mistaken. This time around, I'm starting with my 5-inch balloons, and then we'll move on to our 11 and 16-inch balloons. Now I just say 11 and 16 inches. Depending on the brand, you might have a 12 or an 18-inch. It just depends on which brand you're using. These are all Qualitex balloons that I've had in stock. So just check your design, and you can even add 24-inch balloons if you like, just as a single fill-in here and there. But I just like using these 3 sizes of balloons. It just works out well and doesn't affect the design in any way. If you do want a bigger garland, you can always fill that in as much as you want, but this is just easier for me. Now combining the 3 pairs to form the cluster here again. That brown is a true chocolate brown. It reminds me of a Hershey bar, but I like that the pink kind of breaks it down. It gives the Valentine vibes as well. Now we're going to use this other balloon. I don't know why I slowed down there, but we just have the same thing, combining all 3 pairs to form quads, and then making 3 of those to finalize the design. I think I'm missing a few, but then we're gonna do our filler balloons again and move on from there. I'm thinking now if I should put the clusters together now or take it there and put it together. I think I might do half and half, because I might do 3 pieces of each color. So we could put, let's see, the pink, that, and then do the mocha. These 3, and we'll alternate in that fashion. And I want the brown next to this brightest color. That's my reasoning. You want to pull the neck of the 11-inch balloon, not the 18-inch, because it's a lot stretchier and it's easier to tie. So these are my 11 inches that you see me pulling here. So I'm gonna pull that and tie. So I'm gonna make 3 of these so that when I get there, this looks beautiful. I really like the color combination. Next, to make things easier here, tomorrow, I'm going to put all the rubber bands on my 5-inch cluster, so when I get there I can just, I'm thinking if I should do that or just tie 260Q, because sometimes it's easier with the 260Q, but this is faster. So I'm gonna wrap that. Okay, I'm going to refill my 260Qs just in case I need them. I'm about out. Gonna refill those. I have enough of this. I've shown you guys before. Let me flip this around. Or how I pack my bag and all the supplies I have. If you haven't seen that video, I'll have it linked down below. Then this is the tape that I want to use to protect the ends, so I might do that now just so that it saves me some time. I really have to go home as well to make a PowerPoint of some of our rental items so we can put it on that screen. But let me refill this and then I'll catch up with you guys probably at the bridal show, bright and early. Thank you guys. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share. Blessings to you. Good morning. We are at the bridal show. A lot to show you, but we have to get going. So I'm gonna show you how I set up this backdrop real quick so that we're on time. We came later than planned. Story of my life. But I'm tired, but I have that rush to get this done as soon as possible. I already started setting up the pipe and drape. I'm going to talk to you as I'm doing this. Started setting up the pipe and drape. So I'm going to put the drapes and then set the whole backdrop up. And I'll catch up with you guys. I really want to show you the runway that we did with the black and white dance floor. I don't know if you know about our black and white. I'll show you that in a second. Time to put all those colors together. This is the fun part. The inflating of the balloons is not as exciting. At this point, I can't wait to see how everything turns out. We are starting with our crushed fabric in this light pink, putting quite a few panels down. We're going to keep inserting those panels, and because we're making our balloons on one side of the pipe and drape, I'm going to use one of the panels as a pole cover on one side. Because the entrance is on the left of the screen, I'm going to make the left part the pole cover side, and then the rest will be on the right. So this is me making the pole covers. You just want to fold that fabric through that seam that is in until you get to the opposite end. Then you're going to thread a pipe cleaner through to the other side and then twist it to hold it in place like so. That's your pole cover. We'll just put that on top. We'll make all our adjustments when we get towards the end and when we have our final height of our backdrop. Now we need 260Qs that are going to go on the poles right there, and we'll put some in between the fabric as well. So we're just attaching to several points. I don't have the bottom point attached yet because I'm going to raise the backdrop, so I could have attached it. It doesn't affect it anyway, but I just have that. You'll see me put that on later. Now I make adjustments so that my fabric is all even, so when I raise it up, all the panels are even. Now before I get to the balloons, I want to make sure that my sign is attached. Obviously this is gonna have to go in between one of the panels as well. That's the only way it'll stay in place. So that's that bride to be. I get my extension cord, hook that up as well, and attach it to the back. I do not have an outlet behind on that wall, but eventually the electrician there at the venue, the convention center, helps get an extension cord taped, because you technically can't run anything where that door is, but he was a bit lenient with me. Remember our 3 garlands. Now I'm going to connect all of those together. Those are the first 2 that I put together. You just remember this by the color. A good way to make sure your balloons are nice and spaced out. Once you have your garland, just lay it flat and make adjustments before you attach it to your backdrop. But I'm attaching it here, and I noticed there's a gap there, and because I'm adding flowers later on, and it's gonna cause the balloons to droop, because sometimes the flowers tend to be heavier than the balloons. You want to secure that garland well so that it does not move as much when you put all your flowers and any other thing you're gonna attach to it. So once I have the 3rd piece of our garland attached, to just make some adjustments so that we know if we need to add some more balloons or not. So now I'm putting a few fillers while I can reach the top of that backdrop. Now you see me putting the wrong color, and I adjust that over. But I am working as fast as I can, because even though Richard is there with his cousin to help set up, I still have to make sure my booth looks somewhat put together. So I'm trying to finish this first, then I'll work on the booth. But once we have all these attached, the filler balloons, and we can raise it up to the desired height, I'm just adjusting that pole cover. It really doesn't move, it stays well in place. I don't have to attach it to anything. So now I decide to go not as tall, because I will put a chair down, so won't affect it as much. I ended up inflating extra balloons. You can see the gap on the bottom there, just to fill the rest of the garland towards the bottom. Now once I attach those, pretty much needed 1, but I have the pink that I can add a bit of twist to the bottom. So now I'm tying that 260Q that I forgot to tie earlier to the bottom to secure the garland in place. Once we are done getting the garland all secure, we can straighten our drapes, because we're not going to raise it any further. The goal here is to make sure everything just flows seamlessly, but not only that, your seams in between each drape is covered, so you don't see where the fabric ends. You just fold those backwards. More people are coming for the bridal show, so we're rushing to get everything done on time. At this point, they're mostly the vendors. So now I'm going to put that extra pink cluster of balloons to the left there, just to fill that and use up what I already inflated. Now adding the filler balloons right here. We're going to keep adding to fill all the spots, and I have someone complimenting the backdrop, so pausing to say thank you. And we have all this done. Remember, I told you that I would need to do a different method. Right there, you see all those are the 18-inch balloons, so we definitely cannot put the filler balloons that are 5-inch with a rubber band, because the rubber band is just going to snap. So I'm taking off the rubber band on the pink, the 2 pinks, and now we're going to cut a 260Q in half and attach it to either end of the 5-inch clusters, and that will be how we attach those 2 without snapping the rubber band. I told you that with those big filler balloons, and you see once I put that on, you won't really notice that you have those big balloons. You're just going to find a spot you want to do it, put it on and twist it around until it's in the place you want it. And you see how that just changes the dimension of the balloon sizes and just makes it work. But that's the only one I had to really do that on, onto our pampas grass. It came out easier than I thought. I ended up just putting a few together and using painter's tape to just create kind of a little well, not tying as tight, because I wanted to be able to readjust as I put them in so that they're not all clumped in one place. So I just created a bit of a gathering loosely around the pampas grass so that it doesn't pop on the end. Now I'm pulling more of the tape so that I have it ready. Richard is bringing me the ladder, wrapping till I get to the end, then folding so you have a cup, kind of a cup that you can readjust the pampas grass. This was a little tighter than the first one, but I've left that there, just looking at everything and making sure of where I want to place the pampas grass. I have quite a bit, and kind of making a mess, but I'll clean all that up later on. That's my next one. Just figure out your placement, make sure they look spaced out and presentable. It's not just you clumping up pampas grass everywhere. You know, you still want to design it in a nice way. If this is your first time, again, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, and share, comment below any videos you want to see. I'm trying my best to put as many videos out or set them out as best as I can, so that with a busy season of work coming up, it'll all be done. Thank you guys so much for watching. Here's the final look. We are at the Oklahoma Bridal Show. I want to show you what we did with our black and white dance floor. We have black, we have white, but we combined it. A runway. Look at that. Absolutely love how it turned out. It's checkered. You can do this design for your dance floor where you have a square checkered dance floor, but they needed a runway, and we collaborated with them to have this beautiful runway. Believe it's 40 something feet long. Turned out really, really good. Another view.